What's up, guys? So I had a lot of people call, text, just reach out in general about one of my last videos I posted, which was years ago, when I was picking up my boat from down in South Texas. Had a lot of people call, just ask how I like the boat, ask questions about it because they're interested in getting one. And there's been a lot of big changes since then. I mean, the boat didn't even have batteries in it, no power poles, nothing when I picked it up, and I've had tons of people reach out about that video. And there's been a lot of big tweaks and changes and adjustments and improvements that I've done to the boat over the years. We've got over 1,000 hours on the motor now, done a lot of guiding out of this boat, won some redfish tournaments, fished a bunch of redfish tournaments out of it, and we've got it now where I think, at least for now, a couple little odds and ends I want to do, but I think it's perfect. And I can tell you, I don't think there's another one out there that comes close to how unique mine is. I think it's definitely a one-of-one, but y'all check it out. So this is my Majek 25 Extreme, the same boat that y'all saw a couple years ago that I went and picked up from South Texas down in Corpus Christi. And same boat, same motor, all that good stuff, but there's a lot that's different about it. First thing that jumps out, obviously the tower. We'll get there in a second, but wanted to show the outside real quick before we hop on the inside, because that's where a lot of the good stuff is. But there's been a lot of changes done to this boat. Alright, this is like take number 10, because I guess there was an accident somewhere nearby and there's sirens going crazy. But starting out on the front of the boat, we got power pole move. I know that's different than you've seen before, and this trolling motor is the real deal. I probably will make a whole video just on the power pole move, but it is met all my expectations and plus some, and it is a incredible trolling motor. And like I said, we'll do a video exclusively on that coming soon. But as far as everything else in the front of the boat, not much has changed, or really anything's changed on the main part of the boat. But just brief summary: you got anchor storage in here, which is where I keep dock lines, bumpers, all that good stuff. Then my main storage, got bibs for throwing a cast net, tackle, all that good stuff. This is basically where I keep all my tackle storage. It's not clean right now. The boat's not clean either, so just got done fishing. We got rod storage on both sides. Got a few spinner rods in there, got a few spinner rods on that side. And especially when I'm guiding, I keep a Yeti up front that I use as a, not just a tape measure, but a place for someone to sit if they want to, as well as keep drinks while we're fishing. Alright, on the console, we got what's basically turned into my 95% of the time my trash bin, but it's my front live well. Sometimes we'll use it and I'll throw trash in a bucket or something, but like I said, generally this is where I let my customers throw their stuff, or throw their trash. But it is an insulated front live well. It does a pretty good job keeping, not so much bait fish. I mean, you could keep bait fish or a redfish alive in this live well. I've done it before, but it's a perfect little live well for live shrimp and stuff like that, or as a trash bin. And then in here, it's a mess. Like I said, the boat's not clean. We got, this is where I have my remote charger for my power pole move, is in here. So it's out of the way. I keep my spare remote in here. We got one charging all the time and one ready to be used. We'll address the elephant in the room here in a second, but we'll stay down in the main part of the boat for now. Coming back to the console, got the same seats, all that good stuff. I did add seat sliders to them. I'll just set the camera down, but I'll show you all that in a minute. It doesn't change a whole lot, but it allows you to kind of slide the seats forward and back a little bit, as well as it does get them up a little higher, which was nice when I added the tower. But at the console, Simrad 12-inch Simrad NSS Evo 3S fish finder, bottom machine, whatever you want to call it. pretty much all this is exactly the same. Still nothing under the console. That's where I throw towels, sometimes throw a bucket under there, whatever you may need. Got a Yeti 75 in the back, so that fits with plenty of room on either side of, or with the seat configuration here. You could go up probably a little bit bigger. I added these clamp-on rod holders on either side of the seat bracket, and basically wanted a place where if we are trolling, I could have a couple rods out that aren't getting spread a little bit, and also maybe sometimes a place to throw a rod for live bait fishing or something like that. But really just for the main part, somewhere to just toss a rod when you need to, or troll. Alright, on the rear port hatch, I got 5 Type 1 PFD stuff back in here, as well as some tools, jump pack, other equipment I might need in that box, and my 36 volt lithium battery power 60 amp hour trolling motor battery, which is more than enough to fish all day. Even if you're in anchor mode on the trolling motor or running hard on the trolling motor, it allows me to have all the storage in this box and only run one battery that weighs 33 pounds, and that's hooked up to a power pole charge, which we'll look at here in a minute. But the live well I've made a few changes to. So in the summer we keep a lot of whitebait, your pogies, pilchards, and they're a real sensitive bait. They die easy, and keeping them alive and healthy all day is super important. So went in and replaced the regular deck lid, which I had a seat on before, and did a acrylic live well lid, so my fish can see the sunlight, my bait fish can see the sunlight and not be disoriented in the live well. It helps quite a bit. Added a TH Marine standpipe drain for extra drainage, so we can turn water over constantly and keep that water fresh for those baits. But took out the back seat rest. I didn't have as many customers sit back here as I thought I would. There are times where it is nice to have that extra seating, but being able to see my bait and let my bait see the sunlight during our days on the water was outweighed having the extra seat for sure. And then in the rear starboard hatch, we got some youth type 1s in here, as well as a throwable. I got a spare prop on a Birdsall Marine prop holder. I don't know if that's really what they call it or not, but that's what it is. Safety, first aid, all that good stuff, and then my cranking battery, which is an AGM. But 6-inch Atlas hydraulic jack plate, that's all the same. And here, a lot of this is the same. It's very dirty in here. This is where we don't look generally. But power pole charge mounted right there on the wall. We got power pole pumps, and I also added a washdown system in here, so I have raw water that I can use to spray the boat off while we're fishing. Alright, so now for the biggest change, and the one thing that I've had the most questions about, and that's the tower. And you might be asking why I added a tower. Well, around here, having a tower, if you're a full-time guide, is crucial. Not only is shade fantastic when you're fishing on the water all day in the summer heat here in Florida, but we also cruise our beaches, and we got a lot of fish that run up and down our beaches, whether it's redfish, jacks, cobia, tarpon, and I could really keep going on pompano. We do a lot of fishing off our beaches, and having the ability to run and cover miles of beach and be able to see what you're looking at is a huge deal when you're doing this full time. Like I said, especially talking about your tarpon, your cobia, that kind of stuff, you gotta have a tower. So, you know, like I said, a lot of it for me was shade, but if I was gonna have a T-top being up here in the way, I wanted to get more out of it than just shade. So doing a half tower was definitely the right move. I want to thank Captain Justin League for really letting me pick his brain on building a tower and getting it to be functional and not ended up hating it, and I love it. He was a huge help with that. He's had a bunch of these built over the years, so he's definitely figured out what to do and what not to do. But on the tower, we got black powder coat, obviously. We got our standing platform right here. What I wanted, and one thing Justin told me for sure that was important, was especially with these seats, I want to be able to sit down on a long run and be comfortable and still be able to see, well, I want to get your eye level, and still be able to see over the bow of the boat and make sure everything's safe. You can see the trolling motor up there when you're seated or standing. So I can stand up, like I said, get your eye level again. And now we got a great visual. But that was a big thing that was super important. I would rather, especially after talking to Justin, I would rather give up a few inches of elevation when you're running to have a super comfortable place to run the boat, because this is still where I run the boat 75-80% of the time. So being able to sit and still be able to see over the bow like this, or be able to stand and have great visual, is super important, because we're still driving down here most of the time. So I got the platform about even where the original handrail went over the console, and then we can climb in from the side just like this, and up here is where all the magic happens. So steering wheel, jack plate control, we got another Simrad NSS Evo 3 12-inch. This is not the S model. This was actually what I had, oh, here we go. This is actually what I had down below, and then when I added the tower, I moved this one up here and got the new improved version for down at the console. But we got trim tab controls, power pull switch, kill switch obviously, throttle, all that good stuff. We got our lean seat, if I can get it in the frame, and then 10 rod holders up top. Added the TH Marine anchor light, short, really well built, it's really nice, it's doing great, super bright. We got 6 rod holders across the back, 4 right here. And another thing that I wouldn't have probably done myself, but Justin said to do, for me I was more concerned with weight savings and not breaking the bank on this tower build, but get your non-skid fiberglass top. Don't do canvas, because one of the things that I didn't even think about having the ability to do whenever I was getting this built was standing up here on the flats and looking for redfish when my customers were down there and they have all the deck space to work with, and I'm up here out of the way. I spend more time standing up here probably on the flats than I even do spending time running on the beach. That's how much it's been a game changer for me, and that would have definitely not been the case if I wouldn't have done the fiberglass top. And that's been a huge help, being able to look for fish on the flats and really cover water and not waste so much time on guide trips wondering where the fish are. Then we got, I wrapped the console to match, but mainly because they did try to paint match this. This is actually a light gray, this isn't white, and you could it's hard to tell on camera, but you could really tell that that was the light gray and not white whenever this wasn't wrapped, and you could see the bright white console box. So wrapped it, makes me feel a little better. OCD is not going crazy. But that's the underside of the T-top. Yeah, paint matched, upholstery is matching as best they could, really more with this front seat, but yeah, show you the outside real quick. So from the original video, you'll notice that I didn't have poles on when I picked the boat up. I added those myself. Couldn't quite make them fit on brackets with a 6-inch jack plate, and I've got a 6-inch jack plate because I'm running a 350 Verado. So on this outboard, it already kind of sets back anyway, so they don't run as much setback on the jack plate, so you're not sitting too heavy in the back. And long story short, can't quite make the power poles mount on brackets, so we got them mounted in the back of the boat. And one of the only things I really added back here was a TH Marine easy pump high-speed pickup. I could have put a scoop in the bottom of the boat, but it's really scary. And putting a huge hole in the bottom of your boat like that, and plus I fish shallow so much that I didn't really want it dragging on the bottom, so I didn't even realize how easy these were to install and how well they work if you have an existing live well fitting like the one I still have for the front live well to the right. And basically you just remove that mesh, and it's one nut that goes on that holds on the back side of that, and then you got 4 screws to hold on the cover, and you have a high-speed pickup that you can run and pick up water if your boat didn't come with one. And I had to add a little 4200 around the edges because I had to mount it at an angle to match the underside of the boat there, and it's really meant to be mounted up and down, so I kind of had to add a little bit of 4200 to keep it right where it needed to be. That way it didn't turn on me and go back to where it's supposed to be, which is vertical. But it's working great. I've been running that for over a year now, or just at a year now, and no problems. It does great, and it's super cheap, easy part, takes minutes to install, and you can turn your standard live well pickup into a high-speed pickup that you can pick up water and turn water over while you're on plane without putting a huge hole in the bottom of your boat and adding a traditional scoop. I can't say how nice that is. And like I said, they're cheap and takes minutes to install. So I didn't think it was going to work that well. I wanted to try it before putting a scoop in, and I haven't thought twice about it. It works fantastic. So super happy with that. But for the most part, everything else is pretty normal. But that is my Majek 25 Extreme. After a lot of changes, a lot of additions, a lot of tweaks, but all in all, I could not be more happier with the boat. I mean, everything I was hoping it would be and more. Adding the tower has made it, in my opinion, and I'm going to be a little biased because it's my boat, but I think this is probably the most, if not one of the most versatile boats out there in this size range for sure. Because I mean, it floats still insanely shallow like you would expect out of a Texas boat, rides great, and as a matter of fact, adding the little bit of weight with the tower actually, I think, in my opinion, helped the ride a little bit. It's not rocky, the boat's still very wide, so it's stable even with all that weight up top of the tower. But yeah, I mean, I lost a little bit of speed. I'm sure I'm gonna have people asking me, but the addition of the tower, I mean, did slow the boat down a little bit, but not as bad as you would think, and certainly the benefits outweigh the little bit of loss in performance. Before adding the tower, generally, you know, tournament morning, full load, 2 people, all that good stuff, I would generally see high 60s. If it was, you know, with the wind, cool, I could sometimes see, you know, right at 70. Got it to break 70 a couple times with a little bit lighter load, burned off some fuel, but weight never really seemed to affect this boat too much, not anything like a 22 Extreme. But with the addition of the tower, I think a lot of it is just drag from the wind. But now I'm running mid 60s, and sometimes I'll see high 60s if I'm running with the wind on a cooler morning. So lost probably 3 to 5 miles an hour depending on wind direction and load, but it to me, like I said, it's worth whatever lost is well gained back by adding the tower. And as far as I know, it's the only Majek 25 Extreme with a half tower on it. So paved the way and took the jump and took the gamble, and super happy with it. So alright guys, that's gonna do it. I think I covered pretty much everything, but if you have any questions or want to see anything in particular, how I did something, or better pictures, better video, or whatever, just questions about the boat. Like I said, my original video, I've had tons of questions on it. People call me pretty frequently and ask me about it. So if you're seeing this and you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out and call, text, message, try and get back with you as fast as I can, and answer any questions you might have. Like I said, I'm not against answering questions. I love the boat, super happy with how it's turned out, and it's a boat that I plan on running for many more years. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet, subscribe. We're going to try and really start pumping out some fishing videos. I got a video that I just recorded today, sight fishing redfish and trout off the top of that guy. So you're going to want to see that. And thanks for watching. Bye.